Hey, what a great run last week at Las Vegas. Boy, I tell you what, you couldn't have done any wrong last weekend.
Yeah, we found some stuff in that car that just made it amazing. And simply put, it was the right time. We've been testing it for, I think we had 2 test sessions we've used up, and it was flawless. So I mean, we just didn't have enough parts and pieces to do it all. That's what you do, man. Alan Johnson, Larry Dixon, they've tested, and they brought stuff out when they needed it. And unfortunately, our teams all have this stuff. And it's like the 2 cars that have beat me during this countdown was Cory McClenathan. So I'm being wiped out by my own team. I've built my own adversaries.
Yes, hired your own assassin.
Yeah.
Tony, in all honesty, the atmospheric conditions really weren't there in Vegas for that car to run like that. You've stumbled onto something that really works, and I think a lot of the crew chiefs were underestimating the track, and that's why they were blowing so many parts up. And it looked like Mike Green had it figured out, combined with your driving. That was just incredible to watch, and then for you to do it back to back to back.
Yeah, it was a bracket car. It went past just me and Mike Green. I mean, it goes to the guy that evaluates the track. We got guys that do everything, and so do all the teams. But you can't just give credit to a few of us. I mean, it was really a big performance. It was, we showed up there thinking, all right, all we can do is help Cory. And we don't lay down for races. Cory knows darn well that he has to beat us. But we were 150-some points out. I mean, we showed up basically saying, look, we're going to go out and beat Dixon, and hopefully Cory doesn't have to race us. and that's it, And then to have them all go out first round and second round, all of a sudden we're 85 points in the back. And the funny part is, that's what we do. We do good come from behinds. If we were only 20 points behind, Dixon would probably be more comfortable than being 85 points. Because 85 points means we need a miracle. And we do that.
Yeah, you have done that.
Yeah. So, and you know what, whether we do it or not, let's face it, they are a great race team. They've won 12 races this year. They've done an amazing job. And if they win the championship, I'm going to walk over and shake their hands and call them the champ because they deserve it. But there's that other opportunity that's wide open for us to do what we've done so many times in a row and just do some great things. So we got the car to do it. We've shown we have the car to do it. We're going to a better track to do it on, and we're going to go out and try to set the record. So,
in your experience driving the fuel cars, have you ever seen anything like what happened in Vegas last weekend with the oil downs?
That was sickening.
It was. I've never seen anything like it in all the years of drag racing. I've ever.
And I don't know why. I mean, we didn't have an oil down, and I'm knocking on wood. We protect everything. We have a good tune-up, and it's harder to tune a car there. It's like tuning a car, in Bristol and Denver. It's just tougher. You got to spin the blower. You got to make more power. You got to try to figure it out. But man, and I guess part of the problem is you bring people from all over the country that never see conditions like that. Where they got to make power, and you just burn the stuff up. So I don't know. I was almost embarrassed. I sat in the car 2-3 hours at a time. We'd be sitting there waiting to make a run every time. So you bring all your friends out there to see a race, and you try to explain this is not how it is. But
yeah,
it was that weekend, unfortunately.
How is the elements different from Vegas to Pomona?
Well, Pomona, not as much as everyone thinks, but you're closer to sea level. You're in California. Pomona or Vegas is just a little dry, a little high. It's just there's not the greatest air. Sometimes the sun is so brutally hot, but it wasn't this weekend. We got we got away with something there. Pomona conditions are better. The air is a little better. It's just, but everyone always thinks it's right down at the water. It's not. It's fairly high also in comparison to some other places, but only 2 world records have ever been set there in top fuel. We know that because when we showed up in '96, they made sure to tell us that only one had ever been set in 50 years, so don't count on it, And we did it, man. We did it on the last run. We did it when called upon. But I'm telling you, we have a better car right now, and that was a great car. I'm not going to say it's better, we have a car right now, after coming out of Vegas, knowing what I know, we have a car fully capable of pulling that off. And not only do we have a car capable, but AJ and Dixon know that. So they're going to be trying to I guarantee you Alan's not sitting on the golf course right now taking it easy. He's trying to figure it out. So close the deal for those guys. And, it's going to be a great battle. I'm going to wake up in the morning and smile and race, like I always do, calm, cool, like a machine, because anything's possible. And if we don't win the championship, I want to win the race. I want to win the race, like I said last week, and let Dixon go into the winter months knowing we better enjoy these couple of months as the champ, because those boys are bad as a bone and they're coming after us.
I got to tell you that the last 3 seasons you've come on the show with us and then gone out and won the championship. I'm just telling you what I'm expecting.
Just saying? Are you just saying something?
Why do you think I called back 5 times for the dead phone?
I happened to be there in 06 when you laid down that pass, and still in my mind that was the pass.
For no questions about it.
And I figured that the conditions were there, but everything had to be perfect. And we've talked a lot about these fuel cars, how basically you're dancing on the edge of a razor every time that car goes down the track. I mean, the slightest little thing changes and it blows the tires off or shakes the tires, and that was a miracle pass. And then, like you said, the Army team's been known for doing that.
Well, it was a miracle pass mostly because not only did we have to do it, but we had to run within that little tiny window. For the fans that have never seen a world record happen, you have to run it twice within 1%. So you have to not only run quicker than anyone's ever run, but then run within 1% to back it up. What we had done is run the backup run, and which left us in this position where we could run fast and set the world record, or we could run too fast. Outside the window, we'd have run the quickest run in the history of the sport and not set the world record. So it was like telling a baseball player, it's bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, full count. You got to hit the ball to left field in that seat, not just hit the ball in that seat. Oh, and by the way, it's the World Series. It was everything. I mean, it was a great run. It was great to be part of. We all relaxed and enjoyed it. And the greatest sound still to me, the greatest sound in the world was when Brian was about to start the car. I had my eyes closed, and I could hear him say, "Here we go." And I'll never forget, because that was the calm before the storm, man. I mean, I'm serious. Like, I will never forget that voice. All right, here we go. Calm and cool. A group of 9 guys doing something that was so bad to the bone. Living the dream, man.
Tony, before we let you go, and we do appreciate you again, Tony Schumacher here, guys, Top Fuel champion, coming on the show with us. Before we let you go, I need to ask you about the announcement this morning that Cory McClenathan is not going to be returning with Schumacher Racing here in 2011. What's going on with that situation?
Well, first of all, I'm very upset by that. I mean, Cory and me are good buddies. He's been there for me forever. I was kind of hearing it more from people reading the internet than I was hearing it from inside the camp. Fram wanted a younger driver. I'm kind of shocked by it. Not very happy. He's a great dude. That car, that whoever sits in the seat to replace him is not going to enjoy it nearly as much as they think. It's a pressure cooker in this camp. We're a great team and capable of miracles, but you better not make mistakes. You know what I mean? And Cory's a veteran and as good as they come at dealing with that kind of pressure, and that team provides over there for him. I'm not sure who's going to handle it any better. So we'll have to sit back and see. But I'm going to miss Cory. I think he's someone that I always wanted to have in my camp, and I had a chance to drive with him for a few years, so I appreciate that.
Who do you feel is in the running for that seat?
Oh God, I'm sure there's guys like Torrance, and I'm sure everybody's hitting my dad up for that job. And it's really, I don't think it's my dad that did it. It's the Fram marketing people that said, "Hey, here's who we're looking for." So, I guarantee there's guys out there, and I won't mention names, that have burned enough candles that aren't even in the running that would love to have that job, because there's 8 or 10 guys out there that need a job right now. So I'm sure Spencer's out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure. Yeah, it's Steve Torrance and Spencer Massey, and there's Del Cox. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's a handful of guys out there. Just I don't know that. Believe me, they know that I do radio shows every morning. They're not going to call me and give me anything unless they want it out there because I have a bit of a talking problem.
It's kind of a double-edged sword, though, isn't it? Because you live and die by the sponsor. I mean, the sponsor controls everything, and you've got to have it because let's face it, it's so expensive to operate these
Cars
days.
are parked.
Well, no question about it. And if they want, and that's the thing. If they come forward and say, "Here's what we want," you can't argue. You just can be saddened by it, and that's all. I mean, the fact is, if they came forward and said they want a young driver for their demographic, Cory, like he said in all his internet, reports, I understand why they're doing it. They want this. This is what their marketing dollars are being used for, and they have to go for this demographic. He gets it. He just is left in a rough position where, this isn't the perfect time to go find a job anywhere, no less racing one of these cars. So, I mean, I wish to God it didn't happen, but it did. And if they came to me and said, who do you want to put in the car, I would probably say a Spencer Massey or Steve Torrance. I'd probably say Torrance. I love Massey, but Torrance follows me around, watches how I drive, and does everything he can to kind of to learn. And the only reason I say that is I just don't know Spencer that well. He won me a championship last year, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he did a great job. He does a great job. In no way is he not capable of doing it. And I'll enjoy working with whoever we end up putting in that car. I'm glad it's not, some of the guys that used to be around because I never got along with them. And one thing I can't stand is when people come over to our car and then kiss butt a little bit because they now work with us after, being disrespectful for so many years. So we'll just wait and see who it is. I'm sure there's some people that are kind of like that guy that was down in the for 60 some days, knowing he was coming up that chute. The miners.
Yeah.
Knowing his wife and girlfriend were waiting for him. I'm glad to get out the shift. Just in case, man, I'm cool with that. I'll go last. Right?
Yeah.
Life's realities hit hard sometimes.
That's right. Absolutely. Hey, well, good luck to you. 85 points out. It's doable. Last year you won it by 2. We know it can be done. There's nobody more capable than you. And, hey, we look forward to the conversation 2 weeks from now having you on the show as a champion.
That sounds great, guys. I hope so.